Every year, the Oscars honor the best in cinema. And every year, I put my reputation on the line to predict every single winner. Last year, I admit, I was a complete failure. I missed 10 categories. But that changes now. I've done my research and tracked every single major award show to prepare myself for the Oscars March 15th. So, here's Cinema Personified's predictions for all 24 categories at the 98th Academy Awards. To start things off, here are my locks. I'm so confident in these picks that I'm willing to delete my channel if I get more than 3 of these picks wrong. Because these films swept this year's Precursor Awards, winning at the Critics' Choice Awards, Golden Globes, BAFTAs, and their respective Guild Awards. Paul Thomas Anderson for Best Director, Jessie Buckley for Best Actress, Sinners for Best Original Screenplay, One Battle After Another for Best Adapted Screenplay, Sinners for Best Original Score, Frankenstein for all 3 art awards, so Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, and Best Makeup and Hairstyling. F1 for Best Sound, Avatar Fire and Ash for Best Visual Effects, and Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters for Best Original Song. Even though the BAFTAs technically don't have a song category, because the fact that they perform Golden live at the ceremony tells you exactly where the industry's head's at. And because of this, I'm locking in K-Pop Demon Hunters for Best Animated Feature, even though it wasn't nominated for the award at the BAFTAs. If you were expecting predictions for the shorts, there are none. I didn't watch any of the shorts this year, so my guess is based on whatever Variety, IndieWire, and Gold Derby says. Crunching the numbers, here's what I have. 2 People Exchanging Saliva for Best Live Action Short, Butterfly for Best Animated Short, and All the Empty Rooms for Best Documentary Short. Now that we've gotten the first 15 categories out of the way, we're finally in the meat of my predictions, where none of these are surefire things. And that especially goes for Best Casting, because this is the inaugural year for the award. So we really don't have any historical data to go off of. Now, there is a Best Casting award at the BAFTAs, but it went to I Swear this year, which isn't even eligible at this year's Oscars. So that really doesn't help at all. I'm just gonna go with the winner at the Casting Society Awards. So that's Sinners for Best Casting. And who knows? Maybe the SAG Ensemble winner will be a proxy for this category going forward. Editing was a 3-way split at the Precursors. F1 won at the Critics' Choice Awards, Sinners won at the Ace Guild Awards, and One Battle After Another won at the BAFTAs and Ace Guild Awards. So just because it has one more Precursor win, I'm going with One Battle After Another for Best Editing. Now, while Train Dreams did win Best Cinematography at the Critics' Choice Awards, it's really a battle of the large film formats, with Sinners 70mm IMAX going head-to-head with One Battle After Another's VistaVision. Look, I'm perfectly fine if either of these win. But honestly, it's One Battle After Another's to lose at this point, especially after winning at both the BAFTAs and at both the American and British Society of Cinematographers Awards. I have One Battle After Another winning Best Cinematography. Documentary Feature was another one that was all over the place because each precursor had a different winner. The Perfect Neighbor won at the Critics' Choice Awards, Mr. Nobody Against Putin with the BAFTAs, and a documentary that's not even nominated won at the PGA Awards. But the only constant was that The Perfect Neighbor was nominated at all 3. So I'm going with The Perfect Neighbor for Best Documentary Feature. Plus, with its popularity on Netflix, I think it's a safe pick. International Feature is a heavyweight fight between 2 neon films. Brazil's The Secret Agent and Norway's Sentimental Value. The Secret Agent took the first 2 jabs, winning at the Critics' Choice Awards and Golden Globes. But Sentimental Value took a massive counter, winning at the BAFTAs. And the fact that Neon has been aggressively campaigning Sentimental Value since June just might be the final knockout blow for me. Sentimental Value will win Best International Feature. Sean Penn is winning Best Supporting Actor. I don't know how I got lost in between that he was not going to win this award. He was the favorite before award season started, and now he's the favorite after winning both the BAFTA and the SAG Award. On the flip side, I have no idea who's going to win Best Supporting Actress. Amy Madigan is definitely the frontrunner after winning both the Critics' Choice and SAG Awards. And that SAG win is huge because since 2002, only 3 times has a SAG winner not won Best Supporting Actress. Ruby Dee in 2007, Kate Winslet in 2008, and Emily Blunt in 2018. But despite history in her favor, she's nowhere near a lock because Wami Musaku has almost equally as good of a chance taking home the big prize. Sure, her BAFTA win does have some bias because she's British, but based on the love the industry has for Sinners, I just find it hard to believe they won't come home with any acting awards, especially when you consider that the acting division is the largest voting block in the Academy. But I just can't go against history on this one. I'm going with Amy Madigan for Best Supporting Actress. We went from Timmy was going to sweep award season to he might not even win Best Actor anymore because Michael B. Jordan pulled off a massive upset winning Best Actor at the Actor Awards. And based on the energy in the room from his win, Michael B. Jordan might actually have a good shot bringing home the big award because of that acting voting block. Especially when you consider that since 2003, Only 3 times in history has the SAG Award winner not won Best Actor. But if you want to play the history game, nobody has won Best Actor with just a SAG in hand. So does that help someone like Wagner Moura's chances? Not really. For sure, he didn't get nominated at the SAG Awards because they didn't care about any of the international films this year. And you can argue that he didn't get nominated at the BAFTAs because of how the film was released. But frankly, I don't believe that's true. The Secret Agent did get 2 BAFTA nominations, who, by the way, threw a wrench in my plans because they gave their Best Actor award to a performance that isn't even eligible at this year's Oscars. So unless they tell us who got second place, we're just gonna have to weight all the BAFTA nominations equally this year, which Wagner Moura wasn't. Which brings us back to SAG, where no actor has won an actor award in back-to-back years. So that just might be the reason why they didn't give the award to Timothée Chalamet. But you wanna know what someone has done? Won Best Actor with just a Critics' Choice and Golden Globe in hand. Because that was Sean Penn in 2003 for Mystic River. So even though Timmy needs a Hail Mary to pull it off, I think he will. I have Timothée Chalamet for Best Actor. Before I get into who I think is going to win Best Picture, here's who I would vote for if I had a ballot. And surprisingly, I'd only change the following 8. I genuinely don't understand how Leonardo DiCaprio won win list this year, because he gave the best performance in the Best Actor category. Same goes with his screen partner. I think Tiana Taylor should win Best Supporting Actress. While she does have a Golden Globe in hand, I don't think that's enough to carry over the finish line. Best Original Screenplay is a toss-up for me between Sinners and Marty Supreme, but I slightly think Marty Supreme was the better screenplay. It does have its story issues though, so I'm not super hurt that it's gonna lose. But what Marty Supreme should win is Best Casting, because a major reason why this movie is so good is that the cast is filled with non-actors. The fact that Josh Safdie was able to extract an Oscar-worthy performance from Kevin O'Leary and secure a SAG Ensemble nomination for a cast that features Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller, Tyler the Creator, and the internet personality Patrick Ewing shows what an amazing job Jennifer Venditti did in casting this movie. To be honest, I didn't really care for Sentimental Value or The Secret Agent. So of the films nominated for Best International Feature, I guess the best one was It Was Just an Accident. But come on, the best international film of last year was no other choice. Best editing, funny enough, I wouldn't have voted for either One Battle After Another or Sinners, because I thought F1 was the best edited film of last year, since the editing of the movie made it feel like an adrenaline rush that was a fun ride to be on. I really did not like this movie. But The Smashing Machine should win Best Makeup and Hairstyling, because it fully transformed The Rock into Mark Kurt and made him almost unrecognizable. And finally, funny enough, the hardest one for me to pick was actually Best Production Design, because I think Frankenstein, Hamnet, and Sinners are equally deserving of the award. But if I had to go for one, I'd go with Sinners, because the sets really highlight the prosperity of the Mississippi Delta during that time period. Now for the award you've all been waiting for, Best Picture, which is a battle between Warner Bros. Behemoths, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. And One Battle After Another is a lock for Best Picture. Sure, Sinners won Best Ensemble at the SAG Awards, but in the past 10 years, only 5 times has that been in line with Best Picture. One Battle After Another literally swept every precursor. And only 2 times in history has a film swept the precursor awards and not won Best Picture. That was 2005 with Brokeback Mountain and 2016 with La La Land. And I don't see that happening again this year, which I'm fine with because One Battle After Another was my favorite film of 2025. However, because of how the awards are announced, the Supporting Actor Awards are coming out first. If Delroy Lindo wins Best Supporting Actor, forget everything I said, because Sinners is going to win Best Picture and sweep every other category. But like I said, that's not going to happen. Checking the till, I'm projecting One Battle After Another with 6 wins out of 13 nominations, and Sinners with 3 wins out of 16 nominations, making Warner Bros. The real winner of the night. If you enjoy these predictions, hit that like button. If you think I'm completely wrong, let me hear it in the comments. It's going to be interesting to see how all these predictions pan out on March 15th. So make sure you subscribe to Cinema Personified to see my reactions to the Oscars, my upcoming trip to South by Southwest, and all my weekly movie reviews. So I'll see you next week.